I think this is an interesting concept and something that I think people might be interested in. It could be really boring too, I have no idea. I'm just going to be documenting everything I do, from what I eat to, what I watch, whatever I'm doing, basically at all times. So that's the hope.
What the fuck? What the fuck's going on?
6 Days Alone is a film made by Dan Lotz, a filmmaker friend of mine who releases loads of films on YouTube, and this is one of my favourites. It is maybe one of the more underrated films of Dan's. It's about a guy making a documentary about his own sleepwalking issues while his partner's away for 6 days on a business trip. It's a fan footage film, but to me, it's a real tribute to filmmakers and the process of filmmaking. So the way that the film's set up is he starts recording this documentary, and then he also continues recording himself as he edits the documentary and talks about the editing process. It's hard to explain, but for me, I really enjoyed watching it because as an independent filmmaker, often that is the case. You might actually be editing while you're filming the next scene or the next day of shooting. And I think I for some reason, I really resonated with it. A part of what I enjoyed so much about it was the rewatchability of the film. I actually went back and watched it twice and then a third time, trying to understand more about what was actually happening in the plot of the movie. And to me, that was really fun because we all love Easter eggs. We all love films where there's more than what you're actually just seeing on screen happening, and there's hidden meanings. And I have my own theory behind the film. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a lot of tension in the film. If you enjoy sort of fan footage, paranormal activity, or paranormal investigator type movies, this might be really enjoyable for you. I think the fan footage genre is a really interesting genre, and often there's not a lot of things that are done uniquely or done new in the genre. But with the confines that Dan had, and I actually don't know how much of the film is fact and how much of it is fiction. There's some things in it that are obviously fiction, particularly towards the end, but Dan plays himself. It's very claustrophobic. It's in his own house. The film he's editing is 6 Days Alone. The film that is released is the film that is being edited in the movie, and it's a really fun way to address the fan footage genre as well, because often you have the question of why are we watching this? But the reason we're watching it is because Dan made a movie about sleepwalking and then released it, and we're watching him edit the movie and make the movie himself. Dan the character. So it's a lot of fun, and if you're understanding what I'm saying and you're catching the drift, it's a really fun take on the fan footage genre. And as a filmmaker, I enjoyed watching a movie about someone making movies in a polished way. That's how I make movies. I make movies sitting at my desk in the dark, editing in my house while other things are happening. I take opportunities when my family goes away. I'm shooting this right now while my family's going for a walk. My wife's taking the kids out in the pram, and I actually have an opportunity to go and shoot something, so I'm quickly shooting this review. I think it was really real to me, and it resonated with me. And then aside from that, if you're not a filmmaker, if you're not someone who resonates with the process of filmmaking, it's a really fun fan footage film. There's stakes, there's tension, there's a cool plot twist at the end, and it's a rewarding and satisfying film to watch. So please check it out. It's a great movie. A little bit about Dan as well. Dan is a filmmaker and has sort of spearheaded this movement that he's coined the term folk filmmaking for. So folk filmmaking is the idea that you don't need to be in the film industry or in the Hollywood system to make movies and create art and to tell stories. And Dan has sort of personified this movement in the way that he relentlessly puts out movies and shares them for people to enjoy. And he clearly enjoys the filmmaking process, and that's really fun and intoxicating to be watching and seeing these movies come out of his and then him talk about them. I think folk filmmaking is a really interesting idea, and I think a lot of my movies would fall into the category of folk films that are made by people, for people, bypassing the Hollywood system. So a lot of the movies that I talk about are going to be, or could be, categorized as folk films, and I think that's fun. I think if I could assign that label to my films, I will call them folk films. And that's sort of, to me, what the making movies during the Oscars is all about. It's what putting our movies out on YouTube is all about, rather than sending them into festival circuits or trying to get them on streaming platforms as the primary form of distribution for our films, for my films, for the films I make with my peers and put on Late Night 99. It's not about buying into some of the ideas about filmmaking and what it means to be a filmmaker that are out there in the industry, out there in film circles, but it's about actually just getting out there and making movies, getting better at it, and enjoying that process in a way where you can get continuous feedback and you can get attention and views on your films. You can get people watching them and providing you real-time feedback about what they're enjoying, what they're not, what's happening for them when they watch your movies. So I like the idea of folk filmmaking, and I think more people who are interested in the art form, who are interested in movies, should go and make them and call them folk films, call them independent films, call them art projects, call them videos, call them whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I think the more people that are creating, the more people that are making things, the more people are going to notice that, hey, there's really entertaining things and there's really fun videos and there's fun content we can watch on the internet. And we don't need to go and buy a movie ticket. You can just go on YouTube and watch some interesting films. The thing that I enjoy the most about this as well is you're going to get stories that aren't actually these polished, privileged characters, or these exaggerated archetypes of underprivileged or underdog characters. You're going to get more real stories. You're going to get movies about the character in 6 Days Alone, the filmmaker, really close to the real person who is making films and staying up late at night to get the footage and to tell his story. You're going to get films about my character in different films where I draw from my real experiences in life, experiences that other filmmakers in the Hollywood system might not have. That's why I also love my project Morana, which is an anthology series that I'm releasing on YouTube too. And the idea behind Morana is it's really a kaleidoscope of different personalities and different people that you would never see in any Hollywood production. And I think that's a lot of fun, and I think that if you enjoy movies not just for the plot, not just for the scenes that occur in the movies that might be exciting or scary or moving, but you enjoy movies for their characters and you enjoy films for the people that you get to know when you watch them, then you will really enjoy folk films. There's a lot on folk filmmaking, so this is about 6 Days Alone. Please watch it. Please watch Dan's other films, watch my other films, and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Bye.